Commissioners, any comments? Commissioner Robinson and then Commissioner Collins.
Couple of things. Number one, thank you to everyone who hung in there for 5 hours, and thank you to and thank you to Commissioner Kelly for running this meeting so efficiently. Really, it was done very well. And we have been here a long time tonight, and actually we've been here a long time for the past few years. And I, for one, think it's finally time to cut to the chase. So accordingly, I move that we reject the draft comprehensive plan and send it back to the Planning Commission with the recommendation that they consider other options from staff, including the merge scenario with the accompanying scientific studies.
Commissioner Collins, is there a second? I will second your motion. Commissioner Collins, did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I guess it would probably be appropriate after there's a vote on this on the table right now.
Did you have anything you wanted to perhaps?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think Commissioner Collins wanted to say something, but wanted to wait until the vote was over. Why don't you?
Right.
Okay. And during this comment period, I would also like to say that I believe that I fully agree, and of course I'm going to vote for sending the plan back. However, having said that, I am very, very open to simply committing to move forward with this Board of Commissioners working on a tier map that would provide the kind of direction that the Planning Commission needs and requires, and so we could really get to work on a lot of the suggestions that have been made. But we do have that motion on the table, and I've seconded it. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, and Commissioner Collins, did you want to do something different?
Did you oppose, Bob?
The vote failed with Commissioner Robinson and I voting in favor and Commissioner Collins, Davis, and Rucci opposing. Folks, let's come on. It's been a good night. So Commissioner Collins has some things he'd like to add.
What I was going to suggest at this time is an opportunity to keep the public record open. There's actually questions that I have for staff, and what has traditionally been the process is that we would have a period to keep the record open, and then the commissioners would actually have a work session because there's certainly some issues that arose during the course of the evening that would warrant questions from my perspective for staff as well as from the county attorney's office. So I would move for that. But I'd also like to thank the citizens for coming out this evening and showing your direct interest in our county, in the direction of our county. And I feel very comfortable speaking on behalf of the entire board. I think that many of the concerns raised by you, all of us heard, whatever side of this issue we're on. I think very clearly the community heard you, and I believe confidently whatever decision is made at the end of the day, it will reflect that. And so I would request that we keep the record open, I would imagine for 14 days, 15 days, to have a work session because there are some matters that I would like to discuss with staff.
Oh, did you want to? We normally do that as consensus. So, is that what you're?
Yes.
But since there might be a disagreement, it looks like let's have a motion, Commissioner Collins, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, that was my.
That was your motion, okay. And is there a second to keep the record open for 15 days?
I'll second too, and also like to say there's been no decisions made here. No minds have been made up, and I appreciate all the input you all gave us tonight. And I have a couple questions for the county attorneys too tomorrow.
Okay.
And I thank you for all your input, and we learned a lot. No.
I'd like to add something else. It's been a grueling 5 hours. But thank you guys so much for being here. It's part of the process, and we do appreciate it. There was one thing I wanted to, and for the most part, down to 98%, everyone was civil. You guys know that that's something that I really preach upon. We can disagree without being disagreeable. So I really appreciate civility of this crowd, and I'm sure our security, John, where'd John go? I'm sure John
It was so civil, he left.
and I'm sure John appreciates it too. So thank you so much, and that's a good way to move forward with government.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to keep the record open for 15 days.
Question?
Yes, Commissioner.
How long can we keep the record open for? I mean, can we keep it open to 2018? Sorry.
I believe that the process is one that's going to need to keep moving. Typically, I would encourage you to stay within the bounds of what you would typically do, whether or not it's 10, 14, 30 days.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Aye. Well, folks, again, I think you've heard the thank yous.